Welcome to Master Your Money, Budgeting, Saving, and Debt-Free Living. I'm your host, Nate Tanner. On this show, we use the Triggator philosophy to help you build a spending plan that fits your life, build your savings and investments, and knock out debt with confidence. And today, we're tackling a question that's showing up in more and more family conversations. Should I get my kid a debit card? If you've ever heard that question or asked it yourself, you're not alone. Between chore apps, kid-friendly banking tools, and peer pressure from classmates, it's easy to feel like you're behind if your 10-year-old doesn't have a card with their name on it. But here's the truth. A debit card isn't a shortcut to financial literacy. It's a tool, and like any tool, it can either build something great or cause a mess. In this episode, we're going to break down what age is the right age to introduce a debit card. Does cash still teach better habits, or is plastic the new piggy bank? What tools and apps can help you teach your kids without overwhelming them? And how to apply the Teen Triggator Triangle, spend, save, give, to your teens' money habits. Because raising money-smart kids isn't about giving them access, it's about giving them understanding. Let's dive in. What age is the right age? Let's start with the question that every parent asks when their kid starts eyeing your wallet. When is the right time to give my child a debit card? And like most parenting questions, the answer is, it depends. But here's what we do know. Kids are going digital with money earlier than ever. According to a 2025 analysis by Caxton, a fintech company that studied over 33.5 million transactions by kids aged 5 to 18, we're witnessing the rise of what they call cashless kids. These Gen Alpha children born from 2010 to 2024 are managing money through apps and prepaid cards instead of piggy banks. That's not just a trend, that's a shift in how an entire generation is learning about money. So what does this mean for you as a parent? It means the question isn't if your child will use a debit card, it's when and how you will introduce it in a way that teaches them responsibility, not just convenience. The readiness checklist. Before you hand over the plastic, here are a few signs your child might be ready. They understand the difference between wants and needs. If your kid can explain why a new video game isn't as important as saving for a school trip, that's a good sign. They've had experience managing cash. Whether it's allowance, birthday money, or lemonade stand profits, have they shown they can handle small amounts of money without blowing it all on gum or Roblox? They've made mistakes and learned from them. A kid who once spent their entire allowance in one day and regretted it, that's a teachable moment, and that's a great foundation for introducing a debit card. They're asking questions. Curiosity is a sign of readiness. If they're asking how debit cards work, what a PIN is, or why you check your bank app, they're ready to learn. The age debate. So what's the right age? Most experts agree that somewhere between 10 and 13 is a common window to introduce a debit card if the child is showing signs of readiness. Some banks and apps allow kids as young as 6 to have a card with parental controls, but that doesn't mean every 6-year-old should. As Robert Lee Brown, CEO of Caxton, put it in the 2025 Forbes article, we're witnessing a seismic shift in how children interact with money. The earlier they engage with digital tools, the more confident and capable they become as financial decision makers. Close quote. But here's the key. Early access does not replace early education. A debit card without guidance is just a fast track to overdraft fees and frustration. But a debit card with structure, that's a classroom in your kid's pocket. Start with training wheels. If you're thinking about introducing a debit card, start with a training wheels approach. Use a prepaid debit card or a kid-friendly banking app. Tools like Greenlight, GoHenry, and Step allow you to set up spending limits, get real-time alerts, and even assign chores for pay. Set clear expectations. Talk about what the card is for and what it's not for. Is it for their lunch money? Is it for school supplies? Can they use it for online purchases? Review transactions together. Make it a weekly rhythm. Sit down and go over where their money went. Celebrate good decisions and talk through the not so great ones. Tie it to the teen Triggator triangle. Even for kids, these principles apply. Spend, assign money for needs and wants. Save, set aside a portion for future goals like that new bike or a summer camp. Give, encourage generosity, whether it's a cause they care about or helping a friend. This isn't just about teaching them to swipe responsibly. It's about helping them build a framework for how money works in the real world. Because here's the truth, your child will eventually use a debit card. The question is whether they'll learn with you or learn the hard way. In the next section, we'll explore whether cash or cards teach better habits and how to use both to build financial muscle. Cash versus cards. What teaches better habits? Let's talk about the emotional side of money, because while debit cards are convenient, they're also cold. Swipe, tap, done. You don't feel it until you check your bank app and wonder where the paycheck went. Cash, on the other hand, cash has weight. It has texture. It has emotion. When you hand over a 20 and get back a single dollar bill, you feel that transaction. You see Jackson turn into Washington in real time. You watch your wallet shrink. And that visual, physical loss, it sticks. In a 2017 study cited by Psychology Today, behavioral economist Dan Ariely explained it this way, quote, "Paying with cash is more painful than paying with credit cards. The main psychological force of credit cards is that they separate the pleasure of buying from the pain of paying," close quote. That separation is what makes digital spending so dangerous, especially for kids. Because when there's no physical exchange, there's no emotional friction. And when there's no friction, there's no pause. No moment to ask, is this worth it? Why cash still matters. Even in a world that's going increasingly cashless, cash still has a role to play, especially in teaching kids. Here's why. It's visual. Kids can see their money grow or shrink. That's powerful. It's tactile. They can hold it, count it, organize it. It's finite. When it's gone, it's gone. There's no overdraft protection on a $10 bill. Cash teaches boundaries. It teaches trade-offs. It teaches patience. So does that mean you should ditch debit cards altogether? Not at all. It means we need to teach our kids how to feel their money, even when they're not holding it. Teaching digital dollars with emotional weight. If your child is using a debit card or a money app, there are a few ways we can bring back the emotional connection. Use visual trackers. Create a simple chart or use an app that shows their balance going down or up with each transaction. Make it visible. Make it real. Set spending limits and review them together. Let them see how quickly $25 disappears when it's spent $3 at a time. Talk about what they bought and whether it was worth it. Use cash for certain categories. Even if they have a card, give them cash for things like snacks, entertainment, or gifts. Let them feel the difference. Tie spending to effort. If they earn money through chores or jobs, connect the dots. You wash the car for $10. That Roblox skin cost $8. Is it worth almost a full car wash? Celebrate savings. When they choose not to spend, make it a big deal. Show them how that decision builds their savings and their confidence. Because the goal isn't to make kids afraid of spending, it's to help them spend with awareness. The Triggator Triangle for teens. This is where the Triggator Triangle comes in, adapted for kids and teens. Spend. Teach them to assign money to real needs and wants. Not just $20 for fun, but $20 for movie night and snacks. Save. Help them set short-term and long-term goals. A new game, a summer trip, a first car. Give. Encourage generosity. Let them choose a cause or person to support. Make giving part of their rhythm. When kids learn to assign their money with purpose, they don't just become better spenders. they become better leaders. And that's what we're really after. Not just financial literacy, but financial leadership. In the next section, we'll explore the tools that can help you teach these habits without turning your kitchen table into a finance class. From jars to digital, teaching the feel of money. We've touched on this just a little bit, but as we move towards a cashless society, we're not just changing how we spend, we're changing how we feel about spending. And if we want to raise money smart kids, we have to teach them how to feel the weight of digital dollars the same way we feel the weight of cash. So let's put together a plan. Let's start with the jars. In the early years, nothing beats the classic 3-jar system. Spend, save, give. Let your kids decorate the jars, label them, fill them, watch them grow. This isn't just cute, it's foundational. It teaches them that money has direction, that every dollar has a job, and they are in charge. Let them make simple purchases with cash. Let them count the change. Let them hand over 5 and get back 3 ones and a handful of coins. That's math. That's budgeting. That's real. And when they set a goal, like saving $20 for a toy or $50 for a game, match it. If they save $25, you add $25. Now they're learning about interest, about rewards, about momentum. The power of earning. Here's the truth. Something bought with earned money feels different. Let me tell you a story. My daughter was at a swim camp and lost the key to her dorm. The replacement fee, $125. Now, I wasn't thrilled. That's not exactly pocket change. But here's the win. She felt it. Without any prompting, she said, "Dad, that's more than I make in 2 weeks of babysitting. That's like a lot of work." And that's when I knew the lessons were landing, because she had earned money, she had saved money, she had felt money. And now she understood what $125 really meant. That's the power of starting early. That's the power of letting them earn, spend, and save with real emotion. Transitioning to digital. When your child shows they are ready for a debit card, don't stop teaching the basics. Just translate them. Spend. Use apps that show real-time balances. Let them assign money to categories. Make it visual. Save. Help them set digital savings goals. Use matching to reinforce that habit. Give. Let them donate online. Show them how to support causes that they care about. And here's a powerful teaching moment. Let's say they want to go to a concert, but they're short on the cash. Instead of just buying them the ticket, offer them a loan with interest. I know, some people might be saying, isn't that a little harsh? But really, is it? Because when they turn 18, Visa isn't going to hesitate to do the same thing. The difference? Your lesson comes with love, with explanation, with a chance to learn. Visa's lesson comes with fees, stress, and a minimum payment plan. So give them the lesson now while the stakes are low and the support is high. Teach the triangle, always. No matter how old your child is or how digital their money becomes, the Triggator triangle still applies. Spend, teach them to assign money with intention. Save, teach them to plan for the future. Give, teach them to lead with generosity. And teach them this truth. Those who understand interest, earn it. Those who don't, pay it. Let them experience both sides of that quote so they know which side they want to live on. Because when your child learns to lead their money with clarity, they don't just avoid mistakes. They build momentum, they build confidence, and they build peace. That is a lesson that no app can teach. You made it through the end, plastic or paper. And if you're still here, you're not just thinking about giving your kids a debit card, you're thinking about how to raise a money-smart adult. We've talked about how to know when your child is ready for a debit card, why cash still matters in a digital world, how to teach emotional awareness around spending, and how to build financial confidence through real-life lessons, not just lectures. Now it's time to take action. Your challenge, sit down with your child, whether they're 6 or 16, and ask, what do you think money is for? What would you do with $20 right now? What's something you'd like to save for? Then help them set up their own version of the Triggator triangle. Spend, save, give. Use jars, envelopes, or a kid-friendly app. Let them personalize it. Let them own it. And if they're ready for a debit card, don't just hand it over. Walk with them. Teach them. Let them feel the weight of their money, even if it's digital. Because when kids learn to lead with their money early, they don't just avoid mistakes, they build momentum. Got a story about your kid's first money lesson, a budgeting win, or a financial oops that turned into a breakthrough? Email it to me at podcast@Triggator.com. I love to hear your wins, your wipeouts, and stories. Or message me on Instagram, Facebook, or X @Triggator. If this episode helped you, here's how you can help us. Follow the show to stay on track with your Triggator Triangle journey. Leave a review, especially if your kid's fun fund includes slime, snacks, or sneakers. Share this episode with a fellow parent who's navigating the debit card decision. And don't forget to follow @Triggator on social for tips, encouragement, and behind-the-scenes content. Coming up next time, debt-free isn't a dream, it's a plan. Debt freedom isn't just a dream, it's a strategy. In this episode, we'll break down how to build a debt payoff plan that actually works. We'll review the snowball, avalanche, and custom approaches, how to find snowflakes in your spending, and why becoming debt-free is the ultimate raise. If you're ready to stop spinning your wheels and start gaining traction, this episode is your roadmap. Remember, a debit card isn't a shortcut to financial wisdom. It's a tool, and tools are only as powerful as the hands that hold them. So teach your kids to lead their money with clarity, because if they learn to assign dollars with purpose, they don't just spend, they grow. Thanks for listening to Master Your Money, Budgeting, Saving, and Debt-Free Living. I'm your host, Nate Tanner. See you next time.